Some reaction from legal expert Nthabiseng Dubazana. Nthabiseng, a very good morning. And I suppose the question is, does Jacob Zuma have any other option at this moment? Does he have anything else that he can fight this with if you really, or is this it for him?
Well, this is it. He's reached the apex court, the highest court in the land, and has told him, go and answer for your sins or alleged sins in this situation. So now he has to go to the commission and then go through the whole process that he's been evading for the past few months. So I don't know how they're going to cramp it in the next few weeks in order for him to answer all the questions and all the allegations that he's missed for all this time. But hopefully now that the judgment is out, there won't be any more dilly-dallying or him running out of court, the commission inquiry and stuff, and then he will sit throughout the days and then answer the questions as he's been instructed to do so.
Just explain to us, because Justice Chris Jafta also took a couple of digs at the commission itself, just talking about some blunders. I think that was the word he used. Also talking about, that they are in the situation where they are now when it comes to Zuma, that a lot of it is its fault, is the commission's fault. They had to be blamed. Just take us through that and what he kind of explained, how they got themselves into this pickle with him.
Well, I missed a bit of the judgment, but what I can say is that the blunders that we've been noticing throughout the time, the way that they had attacked, or rather tried to bring Zuma into the commission and then not adhering to their own rules first, and then second of all, when he was in, whenever he would raise certain issues, legal issues in terms of bias, for example, in terms of the questioning that maybe he was being subjected to, those were not taken into account. So now they put themselves in a situation whereby they were dealing with what we would call a hostile witness if it was an actual trial situation. So in this aspect, I think it would work for Zuma when it comes to the end of the inquiry. I'm saying this because once March has come and gone and the report is finally out, he can now take it on review and say, as a result of what even was said in the judgment of the Constitutional Court, that it was your fault that certain things happened in the way that they did. This matter can now be taken on review, and I'm challenging everything in this situation, and then we're looking at a bigger legal battle going forward.
Okay, so he could use this now, if he still has beef with them, if I were to put it that way, to fight this when all of this is over, when we are sitting waiting for this report to come out from Raymond Zondo.
Yes, 100%. Because remember, sorry, I was going to say that we're gonna. What's going to happen is that the judgment specifically was dealing with whether or not he should testify in the commission. It wasn't dealing with the merits and everything pertaining to the commission itself. But in the judgment, certain aspects of how the commission was conducted pertaining to him were questionable. So now that can also be used because it was part of the Constitutional Court judgment for today. It is very big in that aspect.
All right. And Nthabiseng, explain to us what Justice Jafta meant when he spoke about the former president being entitled to all privileges. So what does that mean for Zuma?
Privileges in terms of one as a citizen, all your rights are still reserved, and whatever constitutional rights that were violated during the commission inquiry should not happen again, should not be violated yet again. And all the privileges that come with a former head of state, we are well aware that former heads of states have certain privileges and rights. Those should also not be violated in a sense that whereby it is now questionable in a way that it has been done so far. So all his privileges and all his rights are reinstated, so to speak, not that they were taken away initially, but they're reinstated, and therefore the commission now has to adhere to all of those. Should those privileges and rights now be trampled upon again, then he has the right to go back to court and say, as a result of what the court has said, the commission still has not adhered to what was said by the court, and my privileges and my rights have been trampled on again, and therefore I will not be doing this because it's not in accordance with the Constitutional Court's ruling in this regard.
But Nthabiseng, how does that then fit in with what the justice had to say now about that he doesn't have a right to remain silent, that no witness can actually go there and refuse to answer questions? So how does one fit in with the other when it comes to privileges?
I think mainly because the commission is not actually a court of law, right? So your right to remain silent is specifically when now it's a trial situation, and now anything you say can and will be used against you during trial. For example, during bail applications, whatever you say during bail can be used during trial, even though bail is on a balance of probabilities. So, but once the criminal trial itself starts, that evidence used in bail will be used in the trial to try and show your credibility. So in this situation, we're not dealing with a court. So the things such as the right to silence don't apply. It's just an inquiry. So he has to answer the questions the way that they're put to him. He can then, I don't know, perhaps not try and implicate himself in a manner of speaking, but not lying at the same time. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But I think the main reason is that this is not a court of law. So your right of silence here does not really matter. And also, I think they would have used the Section 36 of the Constitution, whereby the limitations clause, whereby your rights as a person can be trampled upon as a result of the interest of justice. So that would be what they would have used in this situation.
So in other words, he could pull a Myeni. Would that be acceptable?
I don't know about acceptable, but he could probably do that, yes.
All right, so what happens if after all of this, Nthabiseng, he still refuses to go? I mean, we know the former president does think that he's above the law. I don't know if he will respect this constitutional. So what happens then? What is he? Can he be arrested for that? What happens?
So now we have a court order. So if he goes against the court order, it is automatically a criminal charge. So it will be now, he will not be held in contempt of court, which will then be arrested because he did not adhere to a court order. Remember before, when the commission was saying that they will now institute criminal proceedings against him, the actual act that pertains to the inquiry itself did not have a section pertaining to if people refuse to answer questions, what would be the criminal charge. There are criminal charges for other things stipulated in the Commission Act. However, that specific aspect was not dealt with. But now here we have a specific court order instructing a person to behave in a certain manner. If they do not adhere to that, it is an automatic criminal charge, and therefore it is covered by the Criminal Procedure Act, and therefore he can be arrested.
Okay, all right. So Zuma is at that place where there's no turning back. He has to appear, unless, I don't know, something else happens. I don't know whether he will.